Hello, Focus Tribe. Welcome back to the Focus Lab with Tanwa Ashuru. This week I want to talk about stillness, still, being still, and understanding that that is actually a strategy. Now, I don't know if I'm sure you guys have watched this movie, American Sniper, and it follows the life of this sniper, and he's really good, right? The guy had like most awarded win kills and whatnot, but the interesting thing about like a sniper who has to sit there in stillness when they're focusing on their target, they can't move. They have to stay very still. They have to slow down their breathing, slow down their natural respiratory, movements. Their heart rate comes down. They can't even blink. They have to try and be still. But it's in that stillness that they're able to then make an effective shot. And I really want us to think about the fact that, stillness really is a strategy for getting things done. Your ability to just silence all the noise and chaos that's around you so that you can focus on your target and actually get it done. Now, we even see examples of stillness coming in play. If you're a Christian, you read the Bible, you see a case where Elijah, for example, was waiting to hear the voice of God, and there was all this chaos around. The wind was blowing, the earth was shaking, and the fire was blazing, all these things, thunder. And it says in every one of that, God was not in all of that noise and chaos, but he eventually was in the stillness, in the calmness, in the silence. That's when he could hear God. We also see it even, with Moses when the Israelites are panicking, trying to cross the Red Sea, and he says, be still and know that God will rescue you today. I think that was it. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. And, even when Jesus was on a boat and it was rocking, and the disciples and everybody thought they were going to capsize, and they woke him up, and what did he say? He said, "Peace, be still." And this has to tell us something. It really, stillness is a posture. It's your ability to actually just pause in the midst of all this chaos. And I think this is very, very important today because I mean, what it started with Venezuela. It actually started even here in Nigeria as of Christmas Day. There were bombings going on in Nigeria from a foreign military. Who would have thought about that? We've had Venezuela going on. We've had the attacks in Mexico. We have currently the Iran war that's going on, affecting the whole Middle East. And really, there are going to be other repercussions, right? Because if you read the news, they're talking about how it's going to affect food because of fertilizer. That's also a byproduct of all of these issues that's going on and whatnot. So I think at the end of the day, one way that we can try to really just maintain our sanity in all of this is just to practice stillness. So a few things that I think we can keep in mind. Number one, you can try to reduce your consumption of the news. I mean, first of all, they have this saying that if it bleeds, it leads. What that means is that if there's no blood, if there's no chaos, if there's no killing, it probably won't feature on the news. So why would you want to always feed yourself with that kind of content? So maybe take a pause on that, and stop drinking from this fire hose of global anxiety. Find your one or two sources, read what you need to read to stay on top of what has happened for the day, and keep it moving. I guarantee you, in conversations, your friends, your people shall tell you what else is happening. Yep. I'm that person. Oh, I wake up one day and they're like, "Oh, by the way, XYZ has happened." I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, cool." And we move on. Don't, go and be taking anxiety for all of these issues. Second thing is definitely make sure you're praying for the nations, praying for your families, praying for yourself, praying for your associates, your business part, everybody, because really we are in that time. I'll tell you one strategic prayer that I always pray every day, and I think it's super important. It's that prayer of just being at the right place at the right time. Because, I mean, all of a sudden you just decided to fly to Bali and then something pops up while you're there. Why must it happen when you're there? So just making sure that you're just staying in a place of prayer. Always send out those private prayers. Private, have that conversation with God and tell him, listen, protect all that concerns me, including everyone that I know. And then also, finally, I want you to focus on your controllables. What are those things that you can control? A marksman will ignore the dust. When he's there with his rifle scope and he's looking, there's dust, there's, roars, there's all sorts of things. He manages to just kind of ignore all of that and just focuses on the target. So what has God placed in your scope as your target? First of all, if you don't know, that's the first problem, right? So you need to spend time to find out, okay, Lord, what should I be pursuing today? What should I know? What should I be going towards? Is it in alignment with the plans that you have for me? And then once you figure that out, then just make sure that that is in front of you and that is your target. So I want you to set aside at least 10 minutes, every day in protected stillness. Now, what that means is just phone elsewhere, no planning, just sit and breathe and just observe your thoughts. Like, what am I thinking? How am I feeling? What should I be doing? I don't know. These are some of the things that you should probably, just try to consider when you sit in that stillness. I know this is a strategy that works for me because it helps with clarity. And clarity will always show up when the noise is silent. So make sure you try, do your bit. Let me know how that works out for you. If you're absolutely able to gain some level of clarity in this noise, and if you have other strategies that you use to stay sane, to stay focused, I'd absolutely love to hear that as well. And maybe you can share that with the rest of the tribe. So thank you all so much. Thanks for your time. And until next time, stay focused, stay grounded. I'll see you soon.